Hello friends, you're with the Lonesome Gamer and I'm playing Dungeon Universalis. Okay, so I'm trying to show you this random dungeon generator, this method, and my all the changes that I'm playing with now. So first I want to show you the group of heroes, and honestly all these guys should be dead. They didn't manage to survive the last adventure. They got stuck in the dungeon. They didn't find the exit in time, so that was basically a complete party loss. But I thought it makes more sense to show you the gameplay with a group that is a little more advanced, and I mean, they are just on their third adventure now, so they're not terribly strong. But, you know, I'm a little bit used to these characters. I played a couple of hours with them, so I think it makes more sense to show it with this group than starting a completely new group of heroes, and maybe they don't work well together. And so I think that makes sense. Okay, so we start over here. This is a wizard, and she's a celestial. She has invulnerable. That means she can only take damage from basically from combat, and also from melee and ranged combat, if someone rolls a critical hit against her. I'm not sure about magical weapons. This is something I have to check when we have to fight someone with magical weapons. She has fast attacks, which allows her to roll 3 dice in combat and count the two highest ones. She has up and back to fight. That's a weird one. So if she's knocked down, she can basically immediately try to jump back up on her feet. And then she's got the secrets of magic, and yeah, she can detect the effect of magical objects and relics. Besides, she and other characters inspecting sections less than 6 spaces away from him will find treasures with a result of double 5 and double 6. So I use this card a little bit different because searching rooms works different according to my rules. So whenever I find any type of armor or a weapon, I roll 2 dice, and if I roll double 5s or double 6, it's a magical object instead. So she carries all our money that is left, and she also carries all our ingredients for alchemy. I'm not going to go into detail here. She has also mushrooms of frenzy, which could make her berserk. I don't really need that for her, I guess. Maybe I should give that to someone else. Yeah, I think I'm going to give it to her. Then she's got a supreme beer, which helps her in combat checks. Greek fire is good against vermin. A squeaky bird is also good against vermin, and of course she has the healing potion. She has a parrying dagger as a weapon. She can only use dagger or staff, and she has a solar ring. That's a magical object that she found, and that gives her 2 extra mana points at the start of each adventure. She has 5 spells, and I'm going to go into detail about these when we use them. Next character is a scout, and that is a centaur. He has the ability Onslaught, which I don't know if it's that great. Can basically just attack somebody in front of him using his agility value instead of his combat value, and well, I don't know, it's a weird one. And she's got the eagle eye, which gives him +1 perception against traps, and I cannot even read that. Oh, and when searching, exactly. And he's a hunter, that gives him another perception in general, and then he's got the extreme curiosity, which is kind of cool. So he can add 2 to 1d6 and 2d6 rolls when he interacts with furniture. He has a cat. I'm not going to use a cat miniature. I just give the cat to him. Maybe I will use a miniature. I don't know, but not for now. And she just basically gives him another +1 to perception. And then we have, this is pointless, the camouflage paint. I can just sell that. I don't need that. The torch, well, it's source of light. Mushrooms of Frenzy, again, can make him a berserker. Healing potion, composite bow, crossbow. I'm not really using these bows, but I have them in case maybe I need them. I don't know. He's got the unicorn blood, which is super cool. That is very valuable. That's a relic, and it basically is an extra life. So if someone dies, you can give him that, and then he completely recovers. That's insane. He's got orc detecting short sword. That's another magical item, and that gives him another +1 on initiative rolls, and against orcs it's even a +2. He's got the great shield, which is nice too, and he's got the elven sword, which is a great weapon too. And my idea is I'm going to use this orc sword for the initiative roll, and then I'm going to exchange it for the elven sword, because you can draw that without a penalty. That's actually written here, no penalty for drawing. So this is pretty nice, I think. Then we have a barbarian. He's a reptilian, and oh, by the way, the miniature for the celestial is this one here. The miniature for the centaur, I don't have a centaur miniature, so I simply took this guy here. He actually looks quite a bit like him. That's a pretty fitting miniature here. And okay, so this guy is hardy. That means, let me see, yeah, he's got an extra life point basically. He's tough, which makes it harder for him to get diseased and poisoned. The unstoppable charge reminds me a little bit of the onslaught. He can basically also just attack someone, run toward him, and if it's a hit, the guy gets knocked down, I think. Then he's got the berserker ability, which allows him to basically attack twice, but he's got a -1 modifier, and he's cold-blooded, which makes it easier for him to pass a courage test. He has a rope, a morning star, healing potion, an antidote, and a shield. But he also has a relic, the armor-piercing battle axe. -1 to use as combat value, but it's a +2. That's pretty good in damage, and especially -2 in armor. That's insane. And if someone blocks it, the shield automatically breaks. So that's really great. And he has a leather armor. So the last guy is a physician from the bird folk. He can fly, but usually I don't use that. He's got the eagle eye, which we had already here. So it's good when it's good. It helps you finding traps and also secret doors. And he's got stealth, which allows him to ignore the melee range once per turn of an enemy once per turn. He's got the herbalist ability, which allows him to take an extra potion at the start of an adventure. I got to find something there for him. He's got the medicine, and he can use this action to recover up to 3 wound points of an adjacent ally, as long as no one of both of the characters have an adjacent enemy. And he can do this as often as the physician's intelligence. That would be 3. I also modified it in a way that if the company does a rest action, we can heal an additional life points. So instead of 3, everybody can heal 4 life points because they got a physician. And then mislead. This is also kind of weird. So as an action, I can mislead an enemy when a character is 6 or less spaces away from a single enemy character or creature in the same section. Both of them must roll 2d6 and add their intelligence. If the enemy loses the roll, it also loses the next turn. Yeah, I'm not sure why that would be. I'm kind of a random thing here. Yeah, that's so weird. I don't know if I can use that. But we'll see. He's got the Mushrooms of Frenzy, a rope, an antidote, a squeaky bird, healing potion. He's got a flail, which is kind of cool. That is a -1 against armor. A buckler. He cannot use other shields than a buckler because he's a physician, and he's got the leather armor. Okay, so let's finally start this. We are over here on the very east of the map, and here in the plains, and there is an orc tribe that has, I don't know, it's a small village there or whatever. And so during this quest, our goal is to enter maybe, I don't know, some kind of catacomb that lies below the village, and where there are the treasures of the orc tribe hidden in the center. So yeah, I guess we're simply ready to go. Let's do the first turn. So I'm gonna move here, I guess, and just draw a card. At the start there is no trap in the first room. We already said that, so we draw a tile now and see what we get. Okay, that is already a large room because we got 4 entrances or exits. We're gonna ignore the doors. We assume that that's everywhere a door, no matter if it's on the card shown or not. So we enter the room, and we're gonna draw 3 furniture because it's a large room. So that's empty. We got a forge, and it's empty with irregular surface. So there is difficult terrain in this room, in addition to the forge. Okay, so now we're gonna check. Oh, first I gotta give this guy his points. Just a moment. Okay, so this guy has 46 points. He got basically 2/3 of the points that the group has, and he does not have to pay for the leader anymore, and he also will regain the same amount of points when we are in the treasure chamber for the way back, basically. So let's roll a die and see. I gotta find the dice tray here and see if we have an encounter in this room. And we don't. Excellent. So now I want to go here. I want to open this door. So I'm going to roll again to check if there's a trap, and we should not forget the time that goes by. Okay, we have found a trap. So traps are here. And that is complete darkness. Okay, so the next room is in complete darkness. So that means we got basically a -1 to our attributes except for armor, vitality, or mana. And the Dark Pages player's creatures are not affected by this card. Okay, so he's got to spend 2 points for that. And we'll see if this has any real effect. Okay, that is another large room. Oh, damn, I should have rolled twice here. It doesn't matter now. We already drew the card. I should have rolled twice because that was a large room. So we should have rolled twice if we have an encounter or not. Okay, so we enter this room and... goddamn. You know what? I'm completely confused. Before I do that, I have to check the forge. I have to interact with the forge. I'm sorry. I'm just confused. So roll 2d6. Because I got the extreme curiosity, I can add 2. Okay, that's 12. Wow, that's awesome. Whoa, insane. 1 random magic object. It must be a melee weapon. That is crazy. That's totally insane. And whenever I find a magic object, I can roll again, and if I roll a 6, it's going to be a relic. And it's not. But wow, what a start, man. Absolutely insane. Okay, so in that orcish forge, I found a Rage Warhammer. That is pretty cool. It does quite a bit of damage. Strength +2, and it has a -1 on the enemy's armor. -1 to users' combat strength on a critical hit. Equal or smaller sized targets are stunned. That's really impressive. That's a good weapon. However, I'm not quite sure if I actually gonna use that. Let me see. So the reason is that this guy already has a great weapon. This battle axe is awesome. I don't know if I want to give this guy a two-handed weapon. I think he's pretty good with his shield, and I don't know. She's not allowed to use it. What about him? Could the physician use that thing? No. He cannot use two-handed weapons. Okay, so that means actually we cannot easily use that weapon. We could sell it eventually for $15 for half the value. That's not bad. That allows us then to buy later maybe experience points. Or we can just keep it and see, you know, if something breaks. This thing could break, for example, on a 1 or 2. Maybe it's cool. I don't know. We'll see. We figure something out there. But it's definitely great that we found it. Okay, so now we entered this other room here. And we got to check for furniture again. So it's also a large room. So we draw 3 cards. That's empty. Empty. And it's a dining room. Okay, lovely. And now we're going to draw 2. We're going to roll twice to determine if there are enemies or not. Nope. Nope. Okay, so there's no enemies in this room too. And that's a dining room, so that means we can interact with that. We roll 3d6. For each result of 6, we find 1 pack of provisions. For each result of 5, they find 1 supreme beer. Okay, so we find a beer. Okay, so, oh, I forgot to, no, okay, we're here, and I'm going to move here. First we got to check if there's a trap, and there's not. So we're going to draw a room tile. And this is a rotating room, and I use that just like in Dungeon Quest. So we enter the room, it rotates, and there is not going to be an encounter here, and there's no furniture or anything. The problem is we cannot go back that way. This is basically a room that rotates once per turn, and that's it. We cannot go back anymore. There's also not going to be a trap in the room. It's just this rotating mechanism. So that means we continue. And we find here a medium-sized room. Okay? And we're going to draw 2 furniture cards for that because it's medium-sized. So that is an alembic. Alembi, I don't even know what that is. And, oh, a special element. So that means this thing, whatever that is, it's not in the room. Instead, we just draw the special element deck. Okay, that is a mysterious mist. And again, there's not going to be any creatures in this room. The section is covered in a dense mist. Whoever walks through or stays in a square with fog gets the condition stunned and will be regarded as being in a heavy cover. In addition, the character who first enters the room must roll 1d6 and check the result in the following chart. Okay, so let's see. Usually this guy is the first one. He's the scout. So let's see, we roll a d6. And that is a 5. I wonder if his extreme curiosity helps. But it says interact with furniture. I don't think this is furniture. So that's a 5. The mist is magic and causes 3 damage dice against the character's intelligence. Wow, that sucks. Okay, my intelligence is 3, which isn't too impressive. Let's take the black dice. Let's see. Okay, so I take 2 damage. Equal or higher. So, not good. But I got 8 vitality. So, I think I'm still okay. But yeah, that was kind of nasty. Okay, okay, and we're all stunned. So that's also something we have to keep in mind. We're all stunned. So what I'm going to do is, in the next turn, at the start of the next turn, I'm going to give everybody the option to get rid of that condition. And we'll see if they make it or not. And otherwise they just have to carry it on until they can get rid of it. Okay, and we go to the next room. So if there's a special element in a room, there's no trap in addition in this room. And now we're going to see if we can get rid of our conditions. So she rolls, and if I remember that right, we need a 4 to 6 to get rid of the stun condition. Okay, so she's okay, the Celestial. This guy here, yep, also fine. This guy, he is, I think the tough gives him a +1 on that roll. He didn't make it. And here, yeah, okay. So except for the tough guy, at least the stun condition is already gone. And now we draw a tile. Okay. And that is, I'm going to ignore again the artwork here. I just treat it as a medium room. I don't like the fact that we're just going this direction. I want to go here eventually. So that means I'm going to draw 2 furniture again. So that's empty. And we have amphoras and containers. And because we haven't had an encounter during the last 2 rooms, and even longer, I'm going to roll 2 dice to check if there's encounter now. And nope. Yeah, oh, wow, that's crazy. Okay, so we're going to roll here. We are going to interact with the amphoras. So that means we roll 5d6. For every result of 6, we find a coin. And if we roll 2 results of 6, we find a random potion. Nice. Okay, so we get a coin. Oh, yeah, that's not so bad. So that means we move on. This guy can check for the stunned condition. And okay, he's gotten rid of it too. And we got to check if there's a trap. And there is. Okay, so that means we draw another trap card, and that is a riddle. Okay, so the guy has to pay 1 point. And a door or chest cannot be opened unless a riddle is solved. Solving a riddle requires passing an intelligence test with a -2 penalty. A failed attempt means the door or chest cannot be opened. If the riddle protects a door, it can be broken and will be regarded as a reinforced door. Okay, that's not good. Okay, intelligence test -2. So the most intelligent person in this group is the Celestial. She's got a 5. So we're going to try to open that door. That means we need a 7. And we have it. Excellent. So let's draw a card here, a tile. But we don't, the Celestial steps back. So just in case there should be any enemies here. And this is a corridor, and it has the right direction. So we enter the corridor, and again, in corridors there's never furniture. Now we check for enemies again. So we roll twice. That's crazy, man. That is totally insane. Okay, so this goes up. We check for a trap. And we have another trap. Okay, it's a firewall. And that is possible because we are in a corridor. The dark player places a wall of fire, height 4, up to 2 squares of width, that cuts the corridor transversely, starting from the second square from the position of the hero. The wall can only be extinguished with magic water or ice projectiles. That sucks. Against these, okay, we don't have that. Any character is able to go through it, but will automatically suffer 5 damage dice. Okay, so that's pretty rough. That is a tough decision to make because basically we want to go here and the firewall blocks the way to here. So I guess we could go back, but that sucks. So I also don't want to go back here. I could search these rooms hoping to find a secret door which brings me there. But I don't know, man, that slows me down quite a bit. So I guess I have to go through that wall. That's tough, but I will do it anyway. We still got all our fortune, so I just hope we can do it. Wow, I mean, this is really fucked up. 5 damage dice. It doesn't say natural armor, so I guess at least we can use our armor. But for some people it's really hard. The Celestial, for example, I mean, he could easily die. Shit. So first this guy has to spend 5 of his points. Yeah, that is a tough one. Shit. I'm really thinking about going back, trying to find a secret door. That will cost me some time, but Man, this is really painful. You know, fuck it, I'm gonna go back. So that means, I mean, that's really not good, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So I go back, and I will have to roll again for an encounter here, because now it's possible that someone, for example, came down from here or something. So we're gonna have to roll 2 dice to see if there's an encounter. And we're going to have to remember that wall somehow. So I'm going to place a, you know what, I'm going to use this marker here as a reminder that there is a magical wall or firewall here. Okay, so now we're going to roll twice. Nope. And there's no encounter. That is crazy, man. Okay, so now I'm going to search that room. That costs me a time. And this is now basically my own rule, but I roll if there's a trap or not while I'm searching. And this is a scout, so this is the guy who's searching. And there's no trap, and now we gotta be lucky. I'm gonna roll 3 dice, and I need a 6 to find a secret door. I could find other stuff. If I roll, yeah, I got a nice table there, but I need a 6 to find the door. That's important. Because of my eagle eye, I have I can re-roll one of the dice. So let's hope for the best here. I didn't do it. So I'm going to re-roll this die here. And wow, there it is, a 6. That is so cool. Oh, man, I'm really happy. So, in addition to the 6, I get 3 coins because I rolled 3 times 4 or higher. So that was good. And then I found some other stuff because I rolled twice a 5 or a 6. Okay, so now I'm going to roll again. On a 1 to 4, I found a common object. On a 5 or 6, I found a potion. Great, I found a potion, so I'm going to draw from the bottom of this deck here. Okay, so let's see what that is. Components for magic, +2 to casting spells. That's cool, so I'm going to give that to her, obviously, to the wizard. Okay, nice. So that could have been worse, but it definitely did cost me some time. So that means now time goes by, but we can enter this space here. And I can already see that we are really in trouble. Okay, that is again a large room. So we enter this. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, it's just gonna work out, but we cannot really risk further delays. You can see how tough it is. One thing like this stupid firewall, and you're basically fucked. I mean, not really, but it's really dangerous, and we might have to run on our way back, which is never a good thing. So let's hope that doesn't happen again. And we were really lucky that we found that secret door. Okay, so now we're going to roll a die and see, again, 2 dice actually, and see if we have an encounter. And this is incredible. There's nobody down there. That's totally insane. But I mean, honestly, I don't think it's boring. I think it's actually kind of fun because the exploration is fun. And we should actually draw 3 cards. So that's empty. That's a trapdoor, which is awesome, and I'm going to explain to you why. Because, yeah, we can use the trapdoor, and that possibly gives us an advantage and could be a shortcut. So, just a moment. Okay, so the trapdoor, again, comes with some extra rules, because usually the dark player can choose where it leads, right? And we cannot do that. So, I'm going to roll a die, and on a 1 to 3, it leads to an adjacent room. that I can choose, and there's not going to be a trap roll or something if we want to enter this room, so that is definitely an advantage already. On a 4 or 5, it will lead to a room 2 squares away that I can choose, and on a 6, it will actually lead to a room that is 3 squares away. So that would be absolutely amazing. So let's see if we can do that. We want to roll a 6. And that's a 5, so that's really cool. So that means I can go here now, but there is a chance that this is basically just a trap. So I might not end up here. I'm going to roll again, and if I roll a 1, I end up on the opposite side, so basically 2 spaces from there, which is here. And if that happens, I basically just have to leave the dungeon because I cannot make it in time. But if I roll a 1 to 5, that could give us quite an advantage. So let's hope for the best here. If I roll a... Yeah, I'm not supposed to roll a 1, right? Okay, that's a 3, so that's pretty cool. So that means I can actually immediately go to here, and the trapdoor goes away. That is a great card, which can be really helpful. So we're going to draw a tile, and we can also choose how to orient that. And that is another corridor. You know, I'm going to place it like this, I guess. There we go, and we got to check if there are any enemies. And if there should be creatures in there, they are so surprised that we come out of the floor that they got an initiative of -1. So that's also kind of nice. Let's see. And this time we have an encounter there, and it is just a yeah, it's just a floor, a corridor, so I'm just going to use a corridor marker, corridor tile. And we're going to see what this is. So this is enemy spotted. So this is going to be a larger group of enemies now. Okay, so we got the great orc tribes. So let's roll a die, and we got to add 2 because we have more than 60 VP. Oh man, that's an 8. Holy crap. So that means we got a dire wolf, 4 wild orcs with improved weapons, with improvised weapons, and 1 shooter with javelins and the skill watchman. Okay. So that costs 8 points for this guy. That brings him to 20. And let's see, that's going to be a little cramped in here, but I think it's going to be okay. Okay, so these are the dudes that we're going to have to face. Strange group. And this is the trapdoor, so that means that our scout, the centaur, kind of jumps out of here. And now let's have a look what these guys can do. So we have a dire wolf. These creatures are twice the size, strength and ferocity of their relatives, the wolves. You won't be able to outrun them if they choose to prey on you. Okay, so he uses his fangs, 4 damage dice. He's a raging mount, so that means I think can be ridden by creatures of the same size or smaller. Okay, but that is not a big deal. Yeah, I mean, that guy is not too tough, I guess. Although it has a combat skill of 4, that's not so bad. And a pretty high agility. Then we got the wild orcs here. And some clans are particularly aggressive and primitive. They like to keep the skulls of their victims, which they use as containers for their beverages. Ugh. Okay, so they have an improvised weapon, which isn't terribly good. And I think this is all they have. They are brutal and they are berserkers. Okay, so that's a bit of an issue. Berserkers basically means they got a -1 in combat, but they can attack twice. And because the Brutal says +1 damage die against targets located on its front, never adjacent, at the beginning of its activation, the creature must have moved forward at least 1 space. Okay. So that's kind of something we have to remember. And then we have a shooter. He has a leather armor, a dagger, and he's got 2 javelins. So that's a 3, -1 on combat. It's a long-ranged weapon, but I guess usually he's going to try to throw that thing. Yeah. So let's see. Yeah, it's not quite as simple, and because it's a long-ranged weapon, that means he's kind of pushing us away a little bit. So as soon as we enter this space, for example, we are already in melee range. Okay, so I would say we start with an initiative roll. Honestly, I have no fucking clue what happens if these guys win and attack us. I don't even know how we would get out of the trapdoor then. This is weird. Maybe they just follow us and then we fight in this large room here. We'll figure something out there. We got to improvise. But maybe this won't happen. I'm optimistic that we will win this roll. So first of all, we got the cat, which gives us a +1. We got the hunter, which gives us a +2. We got the orc detecting short sword, so we are at +4. And these fuckers have a -1 because we jump out of the trapdoor. However, they got the direwolf, which gives them a +1. So they are basically at 0, while I have a +4. So that should be good. Yeah, so I win that easily. I got a 6, they have a 7. I win that initiative roll. So now I will draw the other weapon. I will exchange that for the elven sword, which is a better weapon, and I do not get a penalty for doing this. And then I jump out of this trapdoor, and I will immediately attack the shooter with his javelin. I think I'm not sure if he can do a defensive shot with this thing. I don't really think so. It's a throwing weapon. I don't think he can do that. So let's just go into combat here. It's a long-range throwing weapon. I don't think he can do a defensive shot with that. So maybe he can. I don't know. Let's check it. You know what? Because of this specific situation that I jumped out of a trapdoor, I'm going to argue that I wasn't even in line of sight when the activation started. So this guy will not get a chance to do a defensive shot. I think that makes sense. So let's roll and see what we get. Oh boy, look at that. I'm already considering using my fortune. Ugh. Yeah. You know, I really want to get closer to this guy because I want to get also the other people into the battle. And fuck, man, I'm gonna force him to reroll the double 6. I mean, this is just ridiculous. So let's do that. Okay. Wow, man, this maybe I underestimated these guys. Twice a double 6. Okay, so obviously that didn't work. Holy crap. Okay, nice. So that means, well, I mean, I still can. I'm gonna activate now the bird guy, and now he jumps out of this thing too. He is here now, and now he's also in the distance of this shooter, or of the javelin. So we're gonna roll and try this time. Maybe we can do it this time. Wow, again, he rolled a 10. What is wrong with this guy? But I got an 8, which is pretty good. So let's see now. He's got a melee value of 3. But it's a -1 in combat. Yeah, so let's see. I also got a -1, but I got a melee value of 5. So, and my agility is 4. His agility is only 2. So actually my agility is 3 because of the weapon, but I still have a high agility. So I think it is it's a tie, but the agility is the tiebreaker here. So I win that, which means I can now move into this space here, and now I do damage. And I do 4 damage, strength +1, but I can reduce his armor by 1. So that means he has an armor of 3. Okay, so I do 3 wounds against this guy. That's pretty good. So he is wounded now. He only has 1 life point left. Okay. So what about the other guys? So I think I'm just going to bring in the reptilian guy. He moves here and he attacks this wild orc here. And this is going to be a bit static, that whole combat, because there's just so little room here. But okay, anyway, so let's do a roll. And again, that wasn't good enough. So, and eventually the angel will also move in here. And there's not a lot we can do, I guess. So, you know, I'm thinking actually about, maybe I'm just going to go here. Okay, that's it. And now it's the other guys. So it wasn't not terribly successful, actually. What a crowd. So let's see. And there's no monster card for him. So now, let's see. First, the shooter would activate if he could shoot, but he can't. So for now, I guess I'm just going to activate this guy here, the wild orc. And let's see whom he's going to attack. The enemy which is easiest to hit, that's this guy here, I guess. Okay, that didn't work for him. So that means there's no pushing going on or anything, which means the others are all kind of stuck here behind. And now the shooter will attack. And because he has this long-range weapon, he's got a -1 modifier. And because the javelin already gives him a -1 modifier, he actually gives a -2 modifier. Because he's got to fight now in short range. So it's going to be hard for him. And again, actually it didn't work out. Okay, so it's going to be now just a little back and forth. I think there's not going to be many interesting decisions because it's so cramped in this corridor. Okay, so let's say we attack with the reptilian first against this guy again. That looks pretty good. That is an 8 against a 7. So the wild orc has his improvised weapon. He's got a combat strength of 3. Let's see. Got his combat strength of 4, -1 because of the axe. So that's also a 3, but I have a higher roll. So that means that was a success. And I deal overall... Can this guy... No, he doesn't have a shield or anything. So that means I deal... I shouldn't forget the brutal, but it didn't work, right? I forgot the berserker though. God damn, this guy has another attack. So okay, so I'm gonna let this stand here, but I'm gonna give him the attack. That doesn't count. Okay, that didn't work for him, so the Berserker, yeah. And he's got another -1 then because of the Berserker, so obviously that's not so good for him. So now I get 6 damage dice against him, and he's got a -2 modifier. That was so bad. But they only have an armor of 3. So that means basically everything except for the ones. Ones are never damaged. So he takes 4 wounds. So he only has 1 wound left. So he's also nearly killed here. And yeah, I think this is not a terribly interesting battle anymore. Let's see what happens. Now it's this other guy here fighting against the... It's just basically just slaughtering through these fuckers. That's a 6 against a 6. And yeah, because he's got a negative modifier because he's wounded. He's got a negative modifier for the javelin. He's got a negative modifier because he's in close range. So that is definitely a success for me. I get 4 dice. And he's dead. Okay, that's kind of cool. I'm thinking about following him, but maybe I shouldn't. I'm not so sure. If I don't, this guy will get the option to attack. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to move in here. I can do that. And I'm going to attack the dog. Yeah. That, yeah, I don't know. Let's see. The dog has a 4. I have a 4. So it seems this is even, but I have 1 point less than the dog. Yeah, so that means the dog wins this combat round. Okay, so now the dog will attack. He's got the most value points. And let's see. Nothing. Now let's make this guy do an attack. Oh. So that's an 11 against a 7. I guess he won that. Even though he's wounded, but I'm pretty sure he won it anyway. That sucks. So that means I take 4 dice of damage, because that was a critical. But okay, I got an armor of 5, so there is no damage at all here. He only rolled 1 4, and that's it. But he pushes me, which might open up the situation a little bit, and then he follows me, and he has a second attack because of his berserker thing. Oh, he blundered. Boy, oh boy. Yeah, so that's bad news for him. So that means he loses his weapon. And I'm going to roll. And, oh, his weapon is broken. On a 1 to 6, the weapon breaks. So he's now unarmed. So we're gonna mark that too. Okay, that's bad for him. But now there's a little bit of movement going on here. So now this guy can move here and attack him, right? So that means we roll again, and I think that looks pretty good. He only has a 3. I have a combat value of 4, so that is A tie, once again, that means my higher agility wins. And now, one of these guys, let's say this guy here, moves in and attacks the scout. Okay, that is a 6 against a 4. Now you gotta see here. That could have been a hit. Yeah, that's a hit, but I got my great shield, so I can use that, and on a 1 to 3, I'm going to block that. No, not on a 1 to 3, on a 4 to 6. Now, I could use my shield thing, my shield action, and you know what? I think I want to do that. So I can reroll this, and I did, but now I'm not allowed to do an action next turn because I use this shielding ability, but I can ignore the attack, so that's kind of nice. I think I forgot to roll a die here. I think I will do this. Okay, no power cards for him. So now it's me again, and basically I can remove this now. That was his activation, and this guy attacks his opponent. So this is the reptilian now, the wounded guy, and that might be actually enough. So he is wounded, which gives him a -1. He lost his weapon, which makes him unarmed, so he is at a -2, and that, let's see. So he is at 1, basically. Plus 10 is 11. I have an 8. Plus 4 is 12. -1 is also 11. My agility is 3. His agility is 2, which means I win. And that means he's probably dead. I have now 6 dice, and yeah, okay, yeah, there's no question, he was already wounded. So that means this guy is dead, which is nice. And I'm going to move closer here. And now the physician will attack this guy here. Oh boy, that was a blunder. I don't want to take that risk. I don't want my weapon to break, so that means I'm going to re-roll that. Ooh. Okay, that is a 6 against an 8. Let's do some quick calculations here. So that's a 6, 11, -1 is 10. And this guy has an 11. I'm pretty sure about that. So yeah, that's not good enough. So now it's again the AI, and we roll a die, and well, no improvements for the monsters. And now again the wolf attacks first, and he has to attack the scout. A 9 against an 8. I think this is good enough again, and it is even a critical hit, so I'm going to try to defend myself, and I need a 5 or 6 now against that attack. I'm going to try to use my shield ability again, or the shielding again, so I can reroll. That's a 6. Awesome. So again, I take no damage, but again, I'm going to lose the action next turn. And then I'm going to get attacked by this other guy here. That's a 7. Man. Can I do the shielding again? Gotta check that. Yeah, actually I can do this shielding thing multiple times per turn. So again, because it's a critical, I need a 5 or 6, not just a 4 to 6, but a 5. And I did it. Okay, cool. So no damage here. My great shield holds. And now this guy attacks the berserker, or no, the barbarian. Oh, you know what? Fuck, I messed up. This guy also gets a second attack. These guys are all berserkers. Okay, anyway, first we start with this guy. So I'm okay here. And then he attacks again. And I'm okay again. But this guy also gets a second attack because of this berserker mode. And I forgot these -1 modifiers, so we'll see. Oh man, that was a blunder. So that is bad, which means he's now also basically unarmed. That should help. Okay, great. So now it's us again. This goes away, but I can't do anything. And now it's my guy again. And okay, that was good enough. And that means I can roll 6 dice with my massive axe. And these are 4 hits. But he's still alive. God damn, okay. But he's wounded. And now it's the doctor. And he's going to kill. The doctor is there to kill. So let's see. Yeah, that's enough. Get a couple of dice. I think it's 5 if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Okay, that's it. Guy is dead. And we're going to move forward. Always. Awesome. Nice. So yeah, we're doing okay here. We're doing really good. So now it's again the dark player, and we roll. So nope. And the dog attacks first. He attacks the one who is easier to hit, which is the scout. That's an 8 against an 8. That's going to be very close. So they both have the same combat value. So that is a tiebreaker. They have the same agility. Nope, because I have the shield, which is a -1 against agility. Okay, so that means he wins. He had again a 6, so that's again a critical hit, so I again have to use my shield, try to stop him. And that didn't work, but I'm going to use my shield option again. God damn, this time it didn't. So I take damage, and his fangs are 4, so so I take 5 damage dice. That's really bad. I only have an armor of 3. So that's already a real problem. That could nearly kill me. Okay, luckily that wasn't so bad. I take 2 damage here. But yeah, that wasn't great. I have 8 life points, so now I'm at 4. And now this guy here, without the arm, without a weapon, attacks this guy here. I mean, he's a berserker, so he attacks the physician. And well, that wasn't bad, but it wasn't good enough. And then I wonder if the second attack goes against somebody else. Maybe. First they have to be distributed equally, but now I think he might actually go against the other guy. Yeah, I want to do that. I'm going to give it to him because he's easier to hit. And that could have been a hit, but Probably not. It's an 8 against a 6. The problem is this guy has no weapon. So he's got a 3, so it's only a 2. I got a 4. So that means it's a tie, and my agility is higher. So that means... Oh, and he has the Berserker negative modifier. So yeah, no way he can win that. Okay. So that's it. And this guy is still stuck. He's not gonna do anything. Well, actually, maybe the dog should have pushed this guy. You know, that's actually true. And then he would have probably... I don't know, man. This is tricky. The dog should have pushed this guy and then moved here. Yeah, that changes things a little bit. Okay, now let's not play around too much here, but I think this guy now gets an attack against the physician. Oh, that is definitely a success. I can try to block that with my buckler, but I need a 6. I don't have that. I don't even know if I want to try a shielding action here. I'm going to lose. I don't. No, I don't. Rolling a 6 is really unlikely. So instead, I will take... And that is the brutal skill. That also... Oh, man. Yeah, he moved once forward. So, I mean, I take +1 damage die. I take 4 damage dice here. Okay, let's see. Okay, that wasn't so bad. I take 1 damage. Okay, a little unlucky though. And he's going to attack again because he is in Berserker mode. Okay, this time I win that. Yeah, I don't have to calculate that. He has too many negative modifiers overall with the Berserker going on. Okay, now let's say this guy here, the scout, attacks the dog. And that is good. That is a success. So I get 6 dice. The dog has, the dire wolf actually, has 5 life points and an armor of 3. Okay, that wasn't bad. I mean, it's wounded. That's kind of cool. 4 hits. Lovely. And that's just 4 hits. There you go. Okay. I wonder how I'm going to do that. Okay, you know, I'm going to, with a physician... I'm going to, yeah. No, you know what? I'm going to try to attack. It's a bit tricky. I'm going to try to attack this guy here. Yeah, I'm going to try to attack this guy with the physician. That's close. Let's see. So I got a 6. This might not be enough. I got a 6. No, I got a... So that's 9. A 5 plus 4 is 9. Minus 1 because of the flail. So I got an 8. This guy has a 6. Plus 3... brings him to a 9, but because he's a berserker, it's also an 8. And my agility is higher, so that means I actually win that. Nice. So that gives me 4 damage dice against him. Okay, he's got a -1 on armor, so that means these are all hits. So he is down also to 1 life point, so he's also wounded. Nice. I'm going to move in, and now this guy follows, and I think I'm gonna attack the dire wolf actually. He seems to be quite dangerous to me. Okay, that is a success, and that means it's basically dead. Yeah, okay. So the wolf is killed, which is cool. I'm not gonna follow, but I'm actually gonna bring this guy, the angel, now into the game, and I'm gonna attack the unarmed orc with my fast strikes. So I'm allowed to roll 3 dice here, and that is a success. Wow, 3 times a 4. So I killed. I hit it, and that means I don't do that much damage though. It's only 3 dice because the dagger, yeah, only does. Okay, it's not bad. I mean, he takes 2 wounds, and I'm gonna push him back. Okay, I'm not. Yeah, I think he wasn't wounded before. I'm not absolutely positive about that, but I think he just takes 2 wounds. His problem is he does not have a weapon anymore, but that's it. Okay, so we roll again to see if he gets a no special card for the enemy. And now we activate this guy here, and he attacks the doctor, the physician. It's probably the last turn of the combat now. That wasn't looking good. Here he goes for the angel. The angel is invulnerable, but he is definitely easiest to hit. Is he? I'm not even sure about that, actually. Yeah, he is. Or she is. But it's hard. I mean, the invulnerable, let's see. Yeah, so nothing happened here. So we're good. And now I'm pretty sure we can finish these guys off. So, yeah, the doctor will again try to kill the wounded guy. Yeah, and it looks very good. So we're gonna roll 4 dice. Yeah, that is enough. So this guy is killed. Lovely. And you can move here. And now this guy attacks here. Oh, you know what? Actually, goddamn, I forgot again, because he's a berserker. I'm gonna give him another attack against this guy this time. I forgot that. So I gotta do this other attack of his. And it didn't work. Okay, nice. So now I can attack him. That wasn't good enough, I guess. No, I'm pretty sure that wasn't good enough. Then this guy comes in, does an attack. That is good, and I think that should do it. I get 7 dice because I did a critical hit here. Oh, yeah, that is enough. Okay. Yeah, so awesome. We managed to kill these guys. Lovely. Our first fight, our first win. But he's badly hit. I'm thinking about using a potion. But you know what? I'm gonna use the doctor's ability instead, and I'm gonna heal 3 wounds from him. So yeah, that was the first time that I used his ability. I can use it 3 times per quest, so that was kind of nice. And now we're gonna search for loot. So let's see. We had overall 4 of these guys, 1 of these guys, and 1 of these. So that's 6 creatures. Not terribly good creatures, but that gives us 6 dice. And maybe we're lucky. Who knows? Well, I mean, that was actually pretty good. So that means I get $4. And I think I might have found a weapon. Just a moment. Yeah, so I got 3 5s, which means I'm going to roll again. And on a 1 or 2, I found a common armor and on a 3 to 6 I found a common weapon. Okay, so that is a common armor, so we're going to draw from this deck here, and it is, oh no, that is a rare, that's a rare one. So I'm going to draw this one here, and we found another leather armor, and you know what, I think that's actually absolutely insane. Because this guy until now didn't have an armor, because yeah, he simply didn't have one. And you cannot buy armor, and with the starting gear we didn't have too much armor, so that's cool. I can give that to him. He's not allowed to wear heavy armor, I think, as a, yeah, because he's a centaur, and also because he's a scout, but he can definitely use leather armor, and that is totally amazing. That's really cool. And I'm going to exchange weapons again. So wow, that was good actually. That was really a good loot. Okay, so we're back here, and that was not the most exciting battle because yeah, there was not so much dynamic. It was just in this narrow area. That's the problem when you fight in corridors. But okay, I think until now we're doing okay. Luckily we found that trapdoor, or yeah, that secret passage here, which brought us here, and we were also lucky finding the secret door here. It was a pretty rough start, I think, although we did not have a lot of encounters, but the exploration was a little tricky. But I think we're now back on course, back in time. Also going to make it now pretty soon to the treasure chamber, I hope. And yeah, we'll see then. So I hope to see you on the next video. Yeah, bye. Oh, and actually I realized one thing. I want to come back quickly. She has these, I know the lighting is now terrible, but it's just want to finish that. She has the secrets of magic, and I already mentioned that usually it gives you, it makes it easier to find, I think, magical objects in when you search a room. But because searching a room works a little different for me, what I did is whenever I find any type of armor or weapon, I'm going to roll 2 dice, and if I roll double 5 or double 6, it's a magical armor. So maybe I'm lucky and this guy actually gets some magical armor. Wow, it was kind of close, but it's not. So that means he still has this leather armor, which is still awesome.